If you're out there right now and you're dealing with IBS, where you're getting irritable bowel syndrome, that can be constipation. So irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, irritable bowel syndrome, diarrhea. So IBS/D, IBS/C. Those are basically elementary forms. And it's considered that 30% of America has a form of IBS.
I could see that.
So we're talking 90, 100 million people. So what's happening? There's a systemic issue. And whenever there's a pandemic of this nature, we know that there's an environmental cause. It can't just be genetic. So
especially if it's like inflamed, like
chronic inflammation.
No pun intended, but I mean like the number has gone exponentially up.
Yeah.
And they say it's because of familiarity with diagnosis and blah, blah. But it's like, really, you're right. There's an environmental factor that is increasing inflammation and gut dysbiosis and a problem with peristalsis.
And let's get into some of those root causes, because I want everyone listening to us right now to have takeaways. Yes, symptoms, takeaways, root causes. Let's dive as deep as we can go. By the time I was 23, I had full-blown Crohn's colitis, and I started having 8, 10 bowel movements a day, 12, 15, 20, 30, 8 at night, 15 during the day. I couldn't even poop. I would have this urge to go, and I'd go, and it would just be blood and mucus and sediment. And then I'd stand up, the urge would go away. 10 minutes later, the urge came again. And then I'd say, I think I'm done. I'd walk out the house, and then the urge would come, and then I would lose control of my bowel movements outside of the house.
So now you don't want to go anywhere.
I don't want to go anywhere. I'm in pure shame. I'm telling my parents. And because, I'm like young 20, early 20s, 19, 23. I nearly lost my life, 26, December 14th, 2014, I almost died of Crohn's colitis in the hospital. My whole family flew in. My dad flew in. My mom flew in. My sisters flew in. They took turns staying with me through the night because I would have so many bloody bowel movements at night. They would just take a steel pan, put it under me. I'd release. They'd go dump out the blood.
So your gut is like, you're basically internally bleeding.
I'm beyond they can even do the surgery. Before that, they wanted to cut out my entire colon and then make a J pouch and then give me a stoma bag so I'd poop into a bag. And I was 25.
And are you like...
And by the way, I'm an actor and model.
Oh, you're still working?
At that point, I stopped working for a year at this point, but I was hiding it for years. This is what saved me. So the doctors don't know what to do. They got 100 patients. They got 100 ER situations. My mom is basically the doctor. She's calling everyone I've ever seen over the last 4 or 5 years. We flew all over the country, spent well into the 5 figures trying to find a solution for me before I was life-threatening. So we already spent $30,000. Both my parents are W-2, middle of the road people. We don't have a lot of money. My sister was pitching in. I had almost no money to my name. I'm like, Mom, take my residual from UGG. Just take it. So
Crocs.
Dude. The agency's holding all my money. Pay me. So it was a really hard time, and I broke down. I went through severe depression, severe anxiety. And what got me out, and this is where I want to give everyone hope. If you are listening in a hospital right now where your loved one's going through this, my mom calls this one doctor in Florida who did a colonoscopy on me. And out of 20 samples, they take little samples of your colon. He found one that was carrying a CMV virus, cytomegalovirus. And it's very hard to find. So he calls up and he goes, I think it's a virus attacking the system and his immune system can't fight it. That's why the steroids
it's attacking your gut, trying to find the virus.
Well, that's one of the root causes I've found in a lot of IBD. It's not just that. There's actually 6 different viruses that I've found to be a root cause issue as one. It's not it's just one. There are many different root causes we'll talk about today. But the one that was hitting me, it could be Epstein-Barr virus, it could be cytomegalovirus, it could be the herpes simplex virus, which it gives you more than just a cold sore. Okay.
Right.
Coxsackie virus, varicella virus, and it could also be 2 different bacteria in the blood that they cannot find in the stomach. Usually, that can still have a problem even if you test negative in your PCR stool analysis. That's going to be your Yersinia and Campylobacter. And so these all can cause a local mucosal lining, mucosa IgA reaction. IgA is the type of antibody reaction. Yeah. So it's a localized mucosa reaction. And if it reacts too much, it can just inflame the colon where you can't absorb water, you can't poop, you'll just have chronic bleeding, you'll become extremely anemic. So some of the people out there right now who are saying, man, that's me. One of the things I want you to look at right now, virus. Now, it's not going to show up in a stool analysis. It probably won't show up in a normal blood analysis because the doctors and our insurance isn't covering the right technology. They're very hard to find, and viruses live in our nervous system. Our labs in this country are not perfect. Even functional labs with the best doctors. We do the absolute best functional doctors on the market specifically for IBD. Even them, there's not always perfection in it. But they put me on a chemotherapy. So once they gave me a sample, it was a $5,000 sample. This is multiple 5 figures to do this chemo. We call the insurance and go, if we do not give him the sample, he's going to die. We put the doctor from Florida on with the insurance company and says, he needs the sample or he's going to die. They give me the sample. I snap out of it in 24 hours.
Wait, what's the sample?
It was an antiviral chemo, so it kills red blood cells, but it also can help kill viruses. So it's kind of like it's like an antibiotic. It kills good beneficial bacteria, right? An antibiotic kills everything. Mm-hmm. It's like a nuke in the body. So they put me on these infusions of this antiviral, but it's still considered to be a chemo. And you'll know because there's a big black bag. If you look on the internet, and there's a picture. Even if you go on our website, you'll see a picture of me in the hospital, 120 some pounds, walking around with this rolling IV clinic, and there's a big black bag up there, and that black bag is a chemo.
It's the chemo.
So that helped me get conscious, and it calmed my body down that I could start absorbing nutrients. See, one of the things with IBD that's so scary is when it gets so inflamed, you can't absorb. That's where the weight loss, that's the anemia, that's the vitamin deficiencies, that's the electrolyte deficiencies.
Because you're having a malabsorption issue.
You can do all the diets. When you get that severe like I was, this is going to be big for a lot of people listening. If you get like that, it doesn't matter the diet you're on. It doesn't matter anymore.
It's too far.
It's too far. Your body doesn't have the building blocks. Actually, one of the clients I helped, Matt, shout out Matt if you hear me. Matt came to me at 114 pounds, 30 years old, 5'11". He was already on a liquid diet.
114 pounds.
114 pounds, and he was already on a liquid diet. He wasn't even eating. He had been liquid for 3 months. Dane, I haven't eaten a solid food in 3 months, and I'm rotting away in severe pain. When we started working together, we started getting not even better. He dropped to 98 pounds.
Wow.
And I go, this is beyond. There's no diet. There's no supplement. Your body can't absorb. We sent him to a clinic. We put him on lipid fats. We put him on iron. We put him on testosterone with a clinic. This is a licensed physician clinic, okay?
Yeah.
We put him on obviously saline, water, things like that, I think. And then we put him on amino acids. And then we put him, and then we talked to his family, and his family decided that they wanted to use peptide therapy. So we used BPC 157, body protecting compound 157, sub-Q. And then we used thymosin alpha 1, which can help control the TH1, TH2 response. And he did those things. He was wheelchaired into the clinic in Florida. Shout out Rebecca Murray, my licensed, my APRN who helped me with this. She's like the most amazing person in the world. I love her. And she helped me do this with him. And he was wheelchaired in, and about 5 or 6 days later, he walked onto the plane back. He gained 35 pounds in like 3 months. He gained 55 pounds in about 5 months, went drug-free. He's been predominantly symptom-free for 6 years. He just did his colonoscopy May 2023 and sent it to me. Perfect, no signs of ulcerative colitis.
Wow.
They can't even find it.